Oh my God. Wow. I just watched the YouTube video from Bryce Mitchell. Challenges Joe Rogan. I'm calling you out. This man is completely convinced the world is flat. Maybe he's taken too many punches. Wow. So he's mixing in flat earth, religion, and some kind of weird thought process about how physics works. This is the truth, Bryce, okay? I'm sorry, but it's obvious to me without any insult. Please don't be insulted by this, okay? Because this is the only way I can say it, is that you simply do not have the mental capacity, the education, the experience in science to formulate any kind of theory, to tell you the truth. If you don't believe how the galaxy works, you can't debate people like this. He wants to debate Joe Rogan about the world being flat, and you simply cannot. You can go on and scream falsehoods at the top of your lungs for an hour, okay, and it's not going to change reality. And he talks about, well, reality, he heard something about that this reality may not be real. Well, see, he didn't understand a single fucking concept of that, about quantum mechanics and what it says about this persistent illusion that someone a little bit smarter than him, called Albert Einstein, talked about. It's very sad. It's very sad. It's only sad. I'm sorry, but I think Thug Nasty has just taken too many punches. And it's just so sad to hear him with I hear this in other flat earthers. They're overly arrogant in their belief that they know and you do not. Completely overly arrogant about it. It's just because that's all they can do. You can go and watch Bryce Mitchell challenges Joe Rogan. I'm calling you out on YouTube. And unfortunately, what I see there is not just a lack of education, but some sort of brainwashing that's gone on with this guy. Some sort of brainwashing about the world being flat and why he says he was an atheist, and now he's this religious flat earther. Wow, that is so sad. I see this all the time. I live in a Republican bastion of uneducated people who are basically totally fucking our city government up. They have no idea what they're doing. It's the same kind of thing. The overly arrogant, uneducated position. Okay, it's sad. That's all I can say is it's sad. I used to laugh at these people. I really did. I've done this for years, talking about the flat earthers. You see, they desperately need to believe that they know something that others do not, because things have been said to them they cannot comprehend. They've heard science from people that confuses them to the point where they think, well, if that's true, then maybe my whole view of reality is wrong, and they can't. I think that shakes them to their core, and they become these overly aggressive, absolutely, overbearing with the way they talk about the flat earth thing. I did a video a few months ago. I talked about this group where there were 6 people. 3 were flat earthers, 3 were professors, science people. And they got in this discussion, and the flat earthers, their number one defense was, well, just because you say it, it's not true. And you see, they don't understand that what science is, what science means. When you say the word science, okay, it is telling you that if this is a scientific fact, that many people over a very long period of time have proven this concept to be true. That's it. Through experimentation, research, and repeatedly doing that throughout a long period of time with many people, okay? Hydrodynamics, thermodynamics, everything that this guy, when he gets on an airplane and flies somewhere, do you think that he's thinking about science at that point? All of the major flat earthers who have tried to conduct experiments to prove the world is flat have failed, and they ended up proving the opposite. They end up proving the opposite. And then they sit there and go, well, that's strange, because they're now shook. They're now looking for a reason to continue to believe the world is flat. Wow, Bryce Mitchell, I am so sorry, man. I really am. I can see it in your eyes that you're a true believer, not because you understand anything about it. You just believe. And that's how God on this planet works. There are people that wish to control other people and suck money out of them, like the giant fucking grift, and control people, control governments, control leaders. It's been happening for thousands of years, okay? Because these people, once they start believing that there's this arrogant, childish, jealous, bloodthirsty God out there who's got their back, it's hard to pull people back from that. It really is. I went into religion looking for answers to my near-death experience. I wasn't looking for God. I was looking for answers. And so it was quite easy for me to escape the clutches of people who would have absolutely held on to me. Wow. I only watched half of the video, and it got so painful I had to stop, because I don't want to continue to view this man as uneducated, unable to think in more than one dimension, and maybe he's just been hit too many times in the head. I don't know. Maybe there's a physical reason why he's all of a sudden absolutely, I'll debate you and you can't stand it. I'll destroy you. I'll destroy you in a debate. You can't. And he's just like he's going into a fight. You know what I mean? This arrogance of belief when he doesn't understand any of the concepts. If you tried to explain the collapsing wave function to this guy, his mind would not be able to hold enough concepts for him to learn or understand anything about the conversation. If you tried to explain the dual slit experiment to him, it wouldn't make any sense to him. See? Maxwell's demon, or, the concepts can be hard to understand. And when you talk about this reality not being real, well, the holographic principle of reality is the accepted form of our reality as it stands today. There is no more advanced theory on our reality. And basically what it's telling us is that we live on a flat plane of zero dimensionality, and the information is being broadcast from some unknown, infinitely far away place. Now, you see, that's too hard for him to accept. Even though 1 and 1 equals 2 tells him that it's 2, the math is, yes, much more complicated than that, okay? Wow. Mitchell slammed Joe Rogan for driving people away from the Holy Spirit due to his opinions. See, this is what happens when you mix God with anything. You get this unerring faith. Not belief, because belief, I think, takes understanding. They simply have faith in what they're saying is true because they've been told by someone they trust. Someone has told them something that they can understand in a simple term, and that now convinces them. If I tell you 1 + 1 = 2, and that is an absolute fact, that's pretty damn solid information to rely on, right? Now, if I try to explain Heisenberg, okay, uncertainty principle, you may not have that same level of understanding, but if you believe 1 and 1 is 2, and you understand the mathematics that are behind that theory, the understandings that we have about thermodynamics and how collapsing wave functions operate, that observers create reality, that the speed of light is the speed of causality, none of those things would make any sense to him. But if you tell him that God rules the universe and he loves you, he loves you because you believe right. You believe the right thing, and therefore you're saved and everyone else is going to hell. That disgusts me about religion. Literally disgusts me, okay? All religions are bullshit. It is a way for men to control men and to grift money. That's it. The God that I was shown when I died was the God of the universe, many universes most likely, many intelligences, okay? Wow, that's so sad. That's so sad. I'm sorry. I had to talk about this with you guys because I just feel so bad for Bryce. You watch that video and watch his level of intensity and anger and frustration grow as he tries to convince himself that Joe Rogan couldn't stand up to any debate with him about the world being flat. It's rather startling, and this is why our country is in the shape that it's in.